Can we get a puppy, Mom? Please?
Girls, pets are...
3 and 4. Count what you have now. Don't count what you don't have. Count what you have now. Don't count what you don't have. Find that you have so much. 頑張りすぎる自分に疲れてふと泣けてきた真夜中のバスルームでまだ手にしたことのない幸せがどこかにある気がして焦るのは年のせい一人楽しく生きてきたの
I'll be back in 1 minute.
悔やんでないけど曇った鏡のように明日が見えない Can't you see, can't you see 自由と孤独は2つでセット気ままなこと寂しさもついてくるDon't you know, don't you know 隣の芝生が青く見えたらこの庭に花を植えればいい Count what you have now Don't count what you don't have Find that you have so much ないものネタにしながらみんな迷って生きてる大人になってからも足元に咲いた綺麗な花に気づくだけで人は嬉しい気持ちになれるのにいつか胸の奥に抱えたジレンマの迷路抜ければ本当に大事なもの知る日が来るだろう Can't you see, can't you see どんな道を選んだとしても悩みの数同じだけついてくる You can choose, you can choose 私が決める私のプライオリティ何を取って何を諦めるの Can't you see, can't you see 幸せの基準測るものさし自分の心の中にあるのさ You can find, you can find 足りないもの数えるくらいなら足りてるもの数えてごらんよ Count what you have now Don't count what you don't have Can't you see, can't you see now Don't count what you don't have You can
Hello, 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 y'all. Welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to be here with y'all today. Oh my goodness. I changed the text to black so that on this screen it was more legible, but now on this screen it's almost impossible to see. Oh goodness. Hi, y'all. I'm excited to be here with you all. We're going to be having a fun time. Wow, the music is louder today. Let me turn that down a bit. There we go. We're going to be working on creating a Snake game that y'all can use Twitch chat to interact with and play, which I'm excited for. We've been working on it for the past couple streams. We started it yesterday. but you can pretty easily follow along, catch up, see where we're at, even if you haven't been to the previous ones, so don't worry about that. Oh my goodness. It's 9 a.m. here for me, so this is a fairly early stream for me, but I understand that most of y'all who are in different time zones, for you, this is a more reasonable time. A lot of y'all are constantly saying in my chat, like, oh yeah, it's like 4 a.m. for me right now, which is insane, deranged. We're going to get started with the actual code, maybe in a couple minutes, give people some time to trickle in. For those of you who haven't been to one of my streams before, hi, I'm Dimmer. I'm a coach at Major League Hacking, and I use they, them pronouns. Also, this stream is slightly different from the other streams, partly because of all this stuff here, but also because TTS is on. So you can use !TTS before any of your chat messages, and they will be read out loud by TTS for me and for everyone else, which is wonderful. Also, closed captions are on, and there should be the icon in like the Twitch bar down in the corner that you can go ahead and click on to turn those on if you want them. We also have custom emotes, as you can see right here. If you have the 7TV or better TTV extensions, fairly common Twitch extensions for added emotes. We have a lot of Blahaj emotes, and then yesterday we added Peter the Pizza, which I believe is the mascot for... Oh my goodness, I knew this. I want to say Python Pros, but I might be corrected for that. This might be a quiet stream this morning, which I'm okay with. Ooh, let me get you all the check-in link. Make sure that you can check in, get points for your guild, all that good jazz. Go ahead and follow this link to check in. With that, I think we might as well go ahead and get started. So... Ta-da! Ta-da! So we are following this tutorial right here, which actually I'm going to drop this link in chat for y'all as well, so you can have this if you want to be able to follow along or catch up. But we're following this tutorial on how to make a snake game in Unity, so we might as well open up Unity for ourselves here. Giving it a sec to load. Unity is an app that is kind of slow to open. Great. Okay. So we have our project Snake. Hey, hey, welcome, welcome. Note to self, don't double click to open apparently. Oh golly, what have I done? Apparently it's trying to open two instances of it at the same time. Okay, there we go. Great. So you'll notice that I'm creating this in a square thing because the goal is, in the future, we're going to put it on this screen so y'all can play Snake in chat while we are, like, prepping for the stream to start, which I think should be fun. Currently, where we're at, for those of you all who haven't been here before, we have the like main snake object moving around, and we have the food respawning, but we don't have collisions with the walls, and we don't have the snake actually extending, so it obviously can't collide with itself, so we don't have an end game either. So the goal of this session is to basically add those collisions and add the like extension of the snake, which we started yesterday, but we're going to basically restart where we were at. Wow, I'm bad at snake. Because we were like partway through the explanation and then we ran out of time. So with that, let's go back to the tutorial and learn more about how we can create the segments of the snake.
All right, now that we've got our food game object scripted as well as our snake, we need to sort of combine some of the functionality to make it so when you eat the food, it will grow the snake in size and you'll have more segments being added. We don't need to create any new scripts for this. We're just going to expand upon our existing snake script. Let's go ahead and open that up. The first thing we're going to want to do is create a list to keep track of all the segments of our snake. Let's go ahead and do that. Actually, I need to import using system collections.generic so I can define a list here. And this is just going to be a list of transforms, and I'll just call this segments. In our start function, we can go ahead and initialize this list, and we can add our very first segment, which is just sort of the head of the snake, which is the object that this current script is attached to. So this dot transform.
It is I, Polar Void.
And then
Hey,
we're
Polar
gonna
Void.
need to
Welcome,
continue to
welcome.
add to this list here. Now to do that, we're going to have to create a brand new game object programmatically that sort of matches our existing snake. And so what we can do is use something in Unity called prefabs. So let me explain how this works. Here we have our snake, and I'm going to just duplicate this. I'm going to first call this, or I'm going to call this snake segment. And all we need on our snake segment is the renderer and our collider. We don't actually need the rigid body, and we don't need the script itself. The script will only exist on our main head object. Same thing with the rigid body. Only the head object sort of controls the movement of our snake, so only that object needs the rigid body. Our other snake segment does not. And what we can do is actually drag this object directly into our project panel at the bottom. It's going to turn this game object into an asset that we can then reuse over and over again. So this is referred to as a prefab. You can even see the file name is called snakesegment.prefab. I can actually delete this from our scene. We still have it here as an asset. And for example, if I were to, I could just create a bunch of these in our scene, and now I just have copies of them, right? It's just a way.
For those of y'all who were here, yes, we do have Pride Joel working. Woot woot. For those of y'all who were here for when we did the intro to Unity, this prefab is what we did for the pipes in the Flappy game.
Way of me of sort of cloning a object over and over again. And let me actually reset
Which
the
direction is
transform
Joel
here.
spinning
Okay,
in
good.
though?
That all looks good.
I think we can answer that. Isn't he spinning this way? Yeah, we have perspective on Joel. The reason why that is always an interesting question is when you have an orthographic camera, you don't have parts of the object shrinking and getting bigger, so you literally can't tell. You don't have enough information to tell which direction. I'm like 90% sure we have enough information about Joel. Yeah, I only see him spinning clockwise. If anyone ever sees him spinning counterclockwise, let me know, because I can't. I'm trying to do the thing with your brain where you can get it to spin the opposite direction, and I can't.
And now we can reference this prefab in our script. Let's go ahead and create a reference to
Interesting.
our,
Maybe my brain hasn't
Prefab
fully
here.
expanded to be able to see it
The
in both
type
directions.
should the type is often just a game object.
Oh my goodness. Hi, Adam. I could have sworn that last night you were like, oh, I won't be able to make it to this stream, but you'll be able to make it to the later ones.
Hello, your favorite Blahaj friend is here on Real Bad Internet.
Well, hello. Welcome. I hope your internet gets better, question mark? Hopefully. Or maybe that you just can survive on bad internet? Ah. Big brain.
But in this case, since our segments list is a list of transforms, I'm going to type this as the same as that, and we'll call this segment prefab. Let's take a look at what this does in our editor. So creates a new property here, and then we can create a reference to this object. And so we can take our prefab and drag it in there. And now we have a reference to our prefab in our script here. Let's go ahead and add a function called grow.
Chess is very popular on
What
Twitch.
this is going to do is it's going to instantiate a copy of this prefab. So we can do that by saying instantiate and then
Okay.
pass
I'm going to pause here because we've gotten to the point of making the copies. So I'm going to
in.
go back briefly because I feel like this is a good place to like try implementing the things that we just learned about. Copies. COPYS. I'm not Will. I don't have a good coffee setup to make coffee on stream with y'all. How did you make it?
The volume mute knob on my mic works on Mac but not Windows?
That's the opposite of what you would expect. Oh my goodness, that's wild. There we go. Okay.
On the coffee machine at work, LOL.
Sometimes a coffee in the hand is worth two in the bush. It doesn't work as well with coffees. Snake.
Do you want to see a video of me making a great
Segment.
coffee?
Send it to me in my DMs and I'll look at it after the stream. Okay, so we have our snake segment. This will become our prefab, and we're going to remove our rigid body because we aren't going to actually simulate any physics with this. Great, and then we drag it down to make it a prefab,
What if you have a $100 million worth HQ?
and then we can delete that. I don't understand the context of that. Is that to my question of a coffee in the hand is worth two in the bush?
Coffeezilla.
Ah, the $10 million studio. Thank you, Adam, for redeeming Bring Out the Goose. It's goose time. It is 10. It's the $10 million studio. He's not that rich. He spent the rest of it on his flying Lamborghini. I also did, for the record, open up Goose on the wrong monitor again, as always. Honk. Honk.
Honk.
Oh my goodness. Wait, we're gonna take a second. I feel like I do this a lot. I feel like I can take this goose button and then we can let's multi-action it. Wait, cancel. We'll make a new multi-action. And then if I can add the goose to, I want to add the, okay. Fine. We'll add, what I'm looking to do is so that, oh, next dimmer stream, let's make a Blahaj one. That's a good idea for the upcoming next Global Hack Week. The goal here is that when I click the goose button, I also say in chat the honk emotes. So first, let's system open goose. Okay. Great. And then the other thing is Twitch chat message. The goose is here. And then honk. And then what are some other emails? We have honk. And then we have goose. Now, if I do this, I should be able to press this button.
Honk, honk, honk.
Aha! Yes. Now when I press that button, wait. Great. Okay. Okay, that seemed like a good idea in my head. But when I well, I'll think about it. It was an interesting idea that I'm glad to show the implementation of using a Stream Deck for automation. But also, I don't know if I like it saying that every time, including when I close out the goose. But that being said, we were right in the middle
on
of.
the menu bar and was confused F.
I saw jobs on the menu bar. Oh, yes, Unity. Okay, so now we have our prefab. Now in our snake, we want to edit our snake script, which is my new Python competitor. And we created a list of segments, a list of transforms called segments. Now, I'll be honest, I don't really comprehend what transforms are as like a data type. It hasn't been explained. So I'm like always like I can understand intellectually that it is like how you access location and position and transform controls. But I don't understand what a transform is as its like own like higher level container. And then public, because like here we're creating a something of a data type transform that is where we're putting our segment or our prefab, which I don't necessarily understand why it's that data type. Like I get that it relates to the list, but it still is a little weird in my brain. So now on start, we initialize segments, and then segments dot add this dot transform. So it's current location question mark. Okay. Great. Now we should be caught up to the, oh wait, no, in Unity now, in our snake object.
Knock, knock.
Who's there? Dimmer accidentally pressing the goose button on his phone when he isn't streaming, and then some random stream getting the gooses here in chat. That would be
Hodge.
incredible. I would love that so much. If, like, I'm just imagining, like, Ryan doing a stream, and then just randomly MLH goes, the goose is here. Honk. Okay. Snake. And now in our snake here, we
You
have...
know what to do, gang.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Ryan, in advance for what I've just brought upon you. Okay, so in our snake object here, we can see that we now have in our script, we now have a space that we can associate that prefab.
Next Ryan stream. Let's all spam the chat with the gooses here.
I mean, I find it interesting because this stream is now developing its own culture separate from like the MLH streaming in general because of all the extra things that we've added, which is like fun and cool. But also, like, will it cross over? Am I like creating an insular community in the MLH streams? I don't know the larger repercussions. Why didn't you reply to Who's There, Blahaj? Well, because Polar Void started with knock knock. And I was like, I didn't know if... Fine, Blahaj who? I feel like I'm scared. Well, I was going to think maybe you'd do Blahaj who Mega Lol, but that doesn't make sense because we all know who
Cue
Blahaj
David
is.
Attenborough narration of evolution.
Oh my goodness. I would love... That's actually a really good idea to talk about, like, because people talk about like the rise and fall of internet personalities, but it would be wonderful to do like a David Attenborough evolution of the like community around the stream or the content creator. That could be very funny. Okay. So now we've associated the prefab. Now let's go back to the tutorial, catch up a bit. So I use a side button on my mouse to open up, what's it called? It's the view in
Let's go
macOS
ahead and add a function called
where
grow.
all of your like windows are splayed out. It's this thing. But occasionally it just like gets stuck and I need to turn my mouse off and on again, and it's apparently getting worse. We aren't currently doing media requests for this stream because I don't want to go insane this early in the morning for me. Maybe the one later today, but not this one. That's too much.
Here we
Okay, but it is a Simone Yetch clip, so we'll watch it.
Here we witness a fascinating sight. A robot, designed for the purpose of charging, has approached Simone's truck. The charging robot begins its ritual, positioning itself carefully to initiate the charging process. Its movements are deliberate and precise, a testament to the ingenuity of its programming. With a steady hum and a single thrusting motion, the robot begins to charge Truckler, its electrical energy coursing through the cables that connect the two machines. Chargler seems to be enjoying itself. Truckler seems uninterested. Finally, with a burst of energy, the robot breaks free, rolling away from the Truckler with a sense of accomplishment. It has earned itself a bit of respite and can now rest until it is called upon once again.
That is very good. Thank you for sending that. That is an extremely good meme. Hey, finally created a Twitch account on Brave browser with the ad filter on. Does Brave actually filter out Twitch ads? I haven't ever been able to filter out Twitch ads. Okay, let's continue now with the actual part of instancing the prefab that we just made. Brave is very good with ads in general. I don't know. I like... Dimmer be like, no media requests. Also, Dimmer, that is a very good video. I mean, yes, the difference though is like if I turn on media requests, it'll be a lot of videos. I don't know. I'm not sold on Brave because of all of the crypto integration.
Or Alvin has good taste.
I mean, one video proves that at least. We'll see. I'll keep a record of your videos in the future. Whenever we do media streams, I'll have a bar at the bottom of the screen that is the tasteometer, where I will rank your videos. Yeah, Brave, I like, in general, I don't like supporting Chromium browsers because I feel like like if you're going to use a non-Chrome browser, like why not choose something that isn't running based on Chromium that like takes energy away from Chrome and like support Firefox. Like Firefox, as you can see, is like the main browser that I use. But recently, I don't know if y'all know about Arc browser.
Next MLH stream. Let's rewrite a browser engine from scratch.
Arc browser is like a browser that is like trying to like they talk a big talk of like, are you ready to let go of the old internet? It's basically seriously,
Their iPad app has no logo.
whose iPad app?
Literally nothing.
Wait, whose iPad app?
Arc.
Oh, I mean, I'm not surprised. I didn't even know they had an iPad app yet. I knew they released, I knew they released an iPhone app, but I didn't realize they released an iPad one. Arc, I don't know if I'd necessarily recommend it, but it's trying to be a different browser, like, thought process of, like, segmented spaces.
I just told one of my members of staff to put out more of a cake we sold out of LMAO.
What's the specialty with this browser? Theoretically, you can like, do I have it? Can I open it for you?
I'm using it, Arden, and it works all right.
Yeah, like, let me open up Arc for y'all. Oh,
What cake?
come on. Arc is playing this music. I am not choosing this. Stop it. Stop it. You're a web browser. Stop it.
KitKat Bunny Muffins.
Basically, the idea is we don't need to.
Dimmer having an existential crisis.
It started playing music. This is, it's a web browser. It's not a new revolutionary experience. Basically, the idea is you break down your browsing experience into multiple different, like, really powerful tab groups, plus add on to that, like, auto-archiving and replacing bookmarks with, like, saved tabs, like, replacing the thought of bookmarking with something more similar to pinned tabs, and then add some, like, cool intro web dev features where you can create, what are they called? I want to call them easels. Where you can take different parts of web pages and put them onto your own, basically, like, dashboard, canvas, and then they still update dynamically. Those are the Arc features.
Some of my extensions don't work, said.
In Arc, that makes sense. It's very new. It's like it wants you to get on a wait list, and it's trying to like build all this hype. I tried it because I heard really good things, and I still use it as my like personal browser because those like segmentation, like different sessions helps. But it's nothing, in my opinion, too unique and special. Anyway, I keep getting distracted by talking about cool tech. Let's go back to learning more about Snake in Unity, specifically instancing the prefab.
And what this is going to do is it's going to instantiate a copy of this prefab. So we can do that by saying instantiate and then passing in the object you want to clone. So this .snake or this .segment prefab. Awesome. And then let's keep a reference to this new segment. And then we can add it to our list. The other thing we need to do though is set the position of this segment to be at the end of our snake object. So it should be, we're going to add them always to the tail. And so what we can do is say segment dot transform, or well, it already is a transform, so I don't need to say that, but I can say segment dot position equals, and then I can grab the very last element in our current from our current list of segments. Segments.count -1 will get us the very last one, and I can just set the position of this new segment to match to match our tail object. Awesome. Now we need to call our grow function.
Hello there.
Hello, hello. Welcome, 404. I'm a little bit confused. I don't know. In my head, so thank you, Adam. Okay. When I write this, I'll dig more into it.
Somewhere, and this is going to basically be the same thing as our code from our food script. So I'll actually go ahead and just copy that, and in this case other.tag is not player, but it's going to be food instead, and then we'll call our grow function.
There are so many customers and I have 6 minutes left on break trying to figure out if I should go help my team or leave them.
I mean, hey, thanks for the follow. Boomerol? I feel like if you have limited break time, use your break time. Like that is what you're like supposed to do. I have one request. Try enabling the comment section of the MLH YouTube channel.
I was
Many
correct.
hackers prefer
I'm now
YouTube.
sick and have a fever coming.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that, 404. With regards to YouTube, in an ideal world, yes. So the thing is, my stream is slightly different from the usual streams. With all of this stuff is fairly Twitch specific. Also, it doesn't look like anyone has said anything in YouTube. Wait, what? Okay, yeah. It doesn't look like anyone has said anything in YouTube or is even... So, like, in an ideal world, yes. I do want to be able to make sure that YouTube viewers can interact the same way. But it also does, like, most of the code that I'm using is Twitch specific, which is sad, but also no one's tried saying anything in YouTube this stream. And before I've gotten maybe like a couple messages, the bulk of the MLH community uses
In an
Twitch.
ideal world, YouTube would have Twitch chat.
I mean, yeah, it is. Song request media share is not on for this stream. I'm sorry, 404. The reason why, like, I'll think about this more and I'll try doing what I can. But like one of the cool things that you've like seen people doing is the like custom emotes, which only would work in Twitch, and the like redemptions of like sounds, like when Adam like I can do this, and you can do that using channel points, which you can only get on Twitch. Can we have a round of applause for them? Let's give them a round of applause. I have applause on here somewhere, right? What? I totally thought that I had applause as I can give them a good job.
Good job.
Good job. Round of applause. Anyway.
Clap.
Yes, I will, for next month, I'll try adding more YouTube cross-compatibility, and we'll see how that turns out. Okay, let's go back to coding.
Oh, I haven't established that tag yet, so let's go
I let
ahead
them
and go
know
to
that
our
my
food
internet
game
friend
object, and
says
we need
good
to mark
job.
this as being food. Now, that's a custom tag.
Okay, I'm going to, last time I was like, we don't need to tag. I am going to add
Good
these
job,
tags.
Anakin.
Add tags. We're going to add a new tag that is player, and we're going to add a new tag that is food. Food player. What? Player. Snake. Tag. Player. Food. Tag. Food. And then we're going to edit that code in here. It's not in snake. It is in food, other, what is?
In this case,
If other dot tag equals player.
Y'all like Star Wars?
I mean, I did add Obi-Wan Kenobi quotes. So yes, if other dot tag equals player. Great. Okay. Now I have done the thing that I did not do before, so we can go back.
other.tag is not player, but it's going to be food instead. And then we'll call our grow function. Now, I haven't established that tag yet, so let's go ahead and go to our food game object, and we need to mark this as being food. Now, that's a custom tag, so I can add a new one. I can click the plus button there, and we'll call this one food. And save that, go back, and now I can tag this as food, which will satisfy this condition here. And then we'll call grow. Awesome. Now, that's actually, we'll go ahead and test out. This isn't fully working yet, but let's go ahead and just test out what happens here.
It's okay. That's
Notice how
what I was
now
expecting.
Have more of these segments. You can see in the left hierarchy, more and more of the segments are being
I was like really confused with what he was trying to do with the segments list, because I was like, wouldn't that stick them in one specific spot? Okay.
cloned. They're not positioned correctly, and they're not moving
My alarm,
with the rest
which
of the
is a
snake.
duck
So
noise,
that's what
just
we will
went
do
off a
next.
honk.
Honk.
But they're at least spawning there.
Have a good work, ? Adam. We'll see you later. Have as best of a work as you can. Take care of yourself.
So,
Back
what we
to
need
work.
to do is make
Bye,
sure
friends.
all
Don't
of these
forget about
segments
dark
follow
techno
along
music
with
later.
the rest of the snake.
We'll listen to dark
And so we're going
techno
to do that
when I have
in the
media
same
share
place
on.
where we move the rest of our snake, which is in fixed
I will
update.
make good coffees.
And the important thing here is we need to move everything in reverse order. We need to move everything from the very tail to the head first. And I'll explain why in a minute. But we need to loop through our segments. So I just said we have to, we need to change the position of them in reverse order. So I actually need to loop backwards here. So this needs to be start at the end. And it needs to...
So actually, before we get into this, I'm going to catch up because I don't want to get lost in the sauce with regards to the code. So we're going to...
You like Bing or Chrome? NVM. You have a Mac.
Bing, no. Chrome, not if I can avoid it. The closed captions have to run inside of Chrome because that uses a Chrome specific API. So I have a Chrome window open here, but I prefer Firefox if I can. Okay. So
Edge just got many time better.
good to know. What would you say is the best thing that's changed about Edge? Because I still have Internet Explorer vibes in my head. Okay, let's edit our snake. So we're creating our grow function, transform segment equals instantiate this dot segment prefab. And then here's the part that I don't understand. Segment dot position equals segments. Oh, no, I do get it now. Okay. Underscore segments dot count minus 1. Theoretically, in other programming languages, you are able to just use -1 as the index and it'll wrap around. But he didn't do that for some reason, so I'll just follow what he did. I get this now. This is where we're just placing it originally, and then it's going to move from there. Segments dot add segment. So the one thing though, so what was confusing me was that we're using the transform. We're using a transform, like we're saving all things as transforms. So this is adding the head of the snake, and this is adding each subsequent piece of the snake to the segments array list in this case. And then from there we'll deal with the movement. But because it is that transform, I thought it was dealing with the movement at first, which it is very much not. Okay. So then we also just need to grab our collider code. Which this time we need because we are going to have it check to see if it collides with the player. And if it does, we'll end the game. But if it collides with food, we'll just have it grow. Which makes more sense. Okay. Now we're editing fixed update. And we're adding a for loop into it and things like that. Let's go back to the tutorial here.
What we need to do is make sure all of these segments follow along with the rest of the snake. And so we're going to do that in the same place where we move the rest of our snake, which is in fixed update. And the important thing here is we need to move everything in reverse order. We need to move everything from the very tail to the head first. And I'll explain why in a minute. But we need to loop through our segments. So I just said we have to, we need to change the position of them in reverse order. So I actually need to loop backwards here. So
you can make a snec in one file in Pygame. Snec Pygame. I really want it to just be a built-in command that it is just called snake. You have very specific
It's not. LOL, you code everything.
RIP. Okay. Isolangs. The esoteric programming languages are just programming languages that are designed to be weird and difficult. But there's one that is okay. So there's this concept of, yes, brain for beep. 99 bottles is a problem that many people try to solve with ESO languages, trying to solve it in a very small amount of code. And because of that, I believe there is an ESO lang that is just 99. Yes, the 99 programming language has no instructions, and any piece of text that isn't on the same line with a preceding hashtag common character in this language is a syntax error. Leading and trailing white space is allowed. A valid program will always produce the same output. Lyrics of the song, 99 bottles of beer.
I know these langs. They are made to be like really hard. Brain, energy code, white spaces, and PHP are some examples.
Mwah, good joke against PHP, but also they aren't just designed to be really hard necessarily. They can just be designed to be very weird, such as 99, where the only thing it can do is produce 99 bottles of beer. So I really wanted Pygame to implement something similar, where you like type in the word snack, and that is like a valid Pygame command, and it'll just run Snake. No matter what happens, Snake is just always built into Pygame. I thought that would be funny, but oh well. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. I clicked random language to try giving an example. Oh goodness. Okay. Unc. If your C program fails to compile, it becomes a valid Unc program. Unc is a language made up of all the programs that fail to compile as C programs. Depending on the lines of code that fails to compile, as C, a different Unc command is written. Most C programs have spent at least some time as Unc programs in development. Unc is one of the most widely used languages in the world, even if not a single program has yet been written for it intentionally. Mwah. Just a truly good meme.
Didn't know I was an Unc expert.
I mean, yes. Let's see if we can find another one. All commands are blank functions that call other blank functions, and the commands are called by the number of
Adding that
functions
to my
passed through a
LinkedIn 8+
function.
years of expertise in Unc.
Post Dominoes is a declarative ESO lang. It was discovered, shamelessly ripped in 2019. Example. The tiles are dominoes used a post domino. What? See, okay, this is hey. This is the thing. ESO langs are like very fun, but also okay. Let's look at the joke language list. We have doggo, which moi doggo. What else do we have here? I don't even know if I can. I wish Adam were here to see this. They are always a little weird, yes, but sussy lang. Sus, sussy, Among Us, imposter, crew, like imposter.
Dimmer trying to kill his own brain cells.
I mean, this is, oh my goodness. This is what Hello World looks like. Sus 83, Among Us. Sussy, Sus 117, Among Us. 99 sussy imposters. This is...
I'm sure you can't even say all of the words. It's an SFW.
I mean, yes. But also... Some good, weird programming languages. How did we get to that? Oh, we were talking about making Snake in a Pygame. Okay. With that, let's go back to making Snake in Unity.
end. And it needs to go until it reaches 0. And instead of plus plus, it'll be minus minus. And we can say segments I dot position equals segments I minus 1 dot position.
Oh,
So
I
let me
get it
show
now.
you what this is doing. It's,
We have
it's
more
easier to
tangents in
visualize
this stream
it
than
in
the
our
boss
editor
graph in
here.
my calculus homework.
But you timed that so perfectly. Oh my goodness, I literally started to go but then you beat me to it. This right here is why I wanted channel point rewards. Mwah, that is perfect. Okay.
So we have our snake. And let's say there's a couple segments here.
I mean,
Okay.
yes, please clip that.
We're changing the position in reverse order. So we're going to go with this tail one first. And the tail one is going to assign its position to be the one in front of it. So it's going to move to here. And then we'll go to this one, and this one's going to move to here. And we'll go to this one, and this one will move to here. And then finally, our head game object will execute this code to move its position there. So this makes sure that sort of each segment is following the one in front of it. And the only way to do that correctly is if we iterate in reverse order and make sure we update the head last.
So this makes a lot more sense than what I was thinking. It's a very elegant way of doing this. The way that I was thinking about it was like keeping a list of positions and like doing all these weird things. I also don't like that it's dot count. It's just a little weird like difference that I don't necessarily like. Oh my goodness, I can't type square brackets for the life of me. Great. Okay.
Let's go ahead and retest this out now. There
Oh
we
my
go, look at
goodness.
that. So you can see the snake is
Hey, thanks for the follow, Laxil? Laxa? I'll just call you Lax until I can... Oh, those are eyes. Okay. Thanks for the follow.
getting bigger. Everything's following along appropriately. And it's working nicely. Now, one thing I might want to do is visually distinguish each of the segments in the snake. So we can actually go ahead. Let's go to our snake object here. Well, actually, no. Let's go to our snake segment prefab that we created. And I can change the scale of this object just slightly.
Oh.
So let's say 0.75 and 0.75. And now let's see what happens. Yep. So notice how there's sort of some extra spacing in between each segment.
That snake is running too fast. He'll get caught for doping.
Which just maybe helps to visually indicate the different segments.
That is
It
also
just overall
very
looks
smart.
A little bit better that way. I think I'm going to actually increase this a little bit, maybe to 0.9. And then I think that might look a little bit better. I just want a little bit of gap in between each segment so you can start to distinguish them. Yeah, that feels pretty good. All right, and there we go. So that actually completes our snake growth, which is sort
Let's take a look here now. Oh my goodness. Hey, oh. Oh no. That's not working the way that we wanted it to.
That's no snack. That's a Medusa.
I mean, but they disappear. They're like all trapped inside. What happened here? Okay. Let me take a look at our code. For and I in segments where while I is greater than 0, I minus minus, second I dot position equals second I minus 1 dot position. That should be right. Wait, okay. Let's
Sort of its position.
for in da. Segments dot count minus 1, where I is greater than 0, I minus minus, segment I dot position equals segments I minus 1 dot position. Okay, so now the only thing would be this is somehow wrong. Segment position equals segments, segment dot count minus 1 position. Segments at segment. Huh. Okay, let's take a look at this again, and let's see if we can figure out, because it looks like it's adding to the wrong spot. Oh, okay, so it's when I turn. So it's behind us, but it's too far behind us. Let's take a look at our code again. Four. Count. So this part is working. Let's try commenting that out for now. And if we try running this again. What? Oh, I get it now. Wait, no, that one's not the real snake. I don't know which one's the real snake anymore. But we have all of these snakes because our snake prefab still has the script associated with it. So if I take that off, theoretically now when I do this, hey, there we go. Now it does what it's supposed to. Great. Okay. It was because each snake segment was also independently moving at the same time. So now that that's off, let's try turning this back on and see what happens. Hey, that looks like a snake to me.
Good job.
Thank you. Okay. We have a snake. Now it's time to add collisions. What is wrong with my mouse sometimes? Okay.
To be the one in front of it. So, kind of the most important aspect of the game. And
Oh,
all
wait.
we have left to do
Let me add that like segmentation. In our...
Iced. Game dev have the best glitches. I once met my friend at the middle of the night and say, do you want to see me practice voodoo on a dummy?
That is incredible. I mean, the answer had to be yes. Like, who would say no to that?
now is to handle collision on the boundaries as well as when you collide into yourself. All right, we're nearly complete with our game. We just need to do the final collision detection. Let's go ahead and open up our snake script. Once again, we're just going to expand upon this. And we already have our function here on trigger enter, which we use to detect collisions. So if we add another if statement here, so instead of
He did say
detecting
yes,
when
it
we
was a
collide
weird
with
glitch
food,
where the mesh went and
let's
the
say
dummy
that
seemed
when you
like it go
collide
positive.
with maybe an obstacle, well, then we will reset the state of our game. So let's call a function called reset state. Let me add that here. And let's go ahead and tag our game objects with this obstacle.
So I'm going to make sure I do that now because I feel like this would be something I'd forget to do, which is add the tag obstacle.
With obstacle tag. So first I need to add a new tag. Obstacle. And this really just looks the exact same as what we did for our food.
Now my question is, did I spell... No, obstacle is spelled with an A. I spelled it with an I. That would cause so many problems later. How do I edit a tag? Oh no. Okay. Add tag. No, that's... What? What am I doing? I need to... Oh my goodness, I'm so bad at spelling. Oh wait, I can say this out loud. Obstacle. And then see how the closed caption spelled it. Great. Okay.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
There we go. Obstacle. Now, we can go into our tags and remove my atrocious spelling errors. Great.
Food, obstacle. I'm going to go ahead and select all 4 of my walls.
Oh,
and then
you can
tag
do
those
that
as
rather than...
obstacles.
I did
And
them
I'm
all
also going to tag
individually.
my snake segment prefab as being an obstacle too.
Oh, big brain. That makes sense.
Because that's the whole premise of the snake game, where if you run into yourself, you lose. And so you yourself are the primary obstacle you're trying to avoid. So we're going to mark the snake segment as obstacle, but we need to make sure we leave our main snake head object as the player, because if you remember on our food script, we check to see that if the player collides with food, well, then it will eat it. So only the snake head object will do that. All right, so back to our code. we check if we're colliding with an obstacle. If we do, we will reset the state of the game. So what are all the things we need to do when the game resets? Well, we need to clear out our list of segments and start over again. So we can iterate over this. And we actually want to start at index 1 instead of 0. And that's because index 0 is our main snake head object.
Oh, that
which
makes
we don't
sense.
want to delete. And in fact, that's the object that this script is attached to. So we definitely don't want to delete that one. So we'll start at 1
Thanks,
there.
404.
And we'll say segments.count, I++. And we can go ahead and call a function called destroy. And we can pass in a reference to a game object we want to destroy. It needs a game object reference, not like a transform. Our list here is a list of transforms.
I have
so we
no
can
more
say
points left.
transform dot
I mean,
game
but you get
object,
220 an
appropriate
hour.
reference
So
there.
I believe in you. You'll
And
build
we
back up
clear
your
our
empire.
list. And we actually need to make sure we add back our main head object. We didn't delete this one, so we need to add that back, but we do need to clear the list because even though we're
I spent
destroying these
60K
objects, there's
points in
still
about 3
technically a
days.
reference to them. And then finally, what we need to do is reset the position of our snake back to the start. So we'll just say position equals 0.
Mm.
And let's go ahead and test that out. Play our game. Oops. Play. Eat a piece of food. There we go. We're growing. Let's run into a wall. There we go. All the segments disappear. My character resets. Let's test all 4 walls. Yeah, so on
Direction
all
doesn't
4
reset,
walls, I
though.
was able to. It reset me. Let me test if I run
That
into
snack
myself.
has twice as much steroids.
I mean, yes,
to
I
make
did
the
slow
snake
down
a
our
little bit
snack.
larger first. Oh, I screwed that one. I just completely lost on my own faults. All right, so let's get a little bit bigger. Okay, let's get one more. We'll do one more. Okay, that should be big enough. There we go. So I ran into myself and it reset. So everything is working correctly. That looks good. Nice. Now, one thing I
Okay. So let's add this. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Great. So here we're checking. So we've hit something. So this is being called. Now the question is, what if we hit? Else if other.tag equals obstacle.
In Pygame you do it by like making an array, and in that array changing the position for each snack body part by every second.
Yes.
It's quite fascinating. Actually, you have to code everything yourself.
That's what I was expecting to have to do. I think it does show the difference between something like Pygame and a game engine. Reset. So now we have our reset function, and then within our reset function, what are we doing? We are going through and we're destroying all of the instances that we've created, and then we're clearing out segments, adding our current segment, and then we're setting our position to 0, and I also want to reset our direction, because that's one thing that he didn't change. So for int I equals 0, and then while I is less than segments dot count I plus plus, but actually no, we want it to be 1, don't we? Yes, we do want it to be 1. so that we skip over the main head of the snake. Because if we destroy that, there's nothing left. And then we're calling destroy on segments. Okay. Destroy segments I dot game object. And then we're going to segments dot clear, and then we're going to segments dot add this dot transform to add our main snake back, and then okay, we're setting the position back to 0. I do also want to set direction equal to vector 2 dot right. Great. Now let's try this. Oh, okay. Great. Now if we ignore that I'm bad at snake, I can go back. Oh, when you only have 2, you can go backwards. When you only have 2, the way that we have the code written. Anyway, once we have 3, you can't. Okay. Okay, yeah. Great. Let's go back to our tutorial.
Go ahead and test that out. Play our game. Oops. How when you start the game, you are a size of just 1. Okay, let's get one more. We'll do one more. Okay, that should be big enough. There we go. So I ran into myself and it reset. So everything is working correctly. That looks good. Nice. Now, one thing I don't like is how when you start the game, you are a size of just 1. It doesn't really feel right to me. So I think I want to make it so the snake has an initial size. We can go ahead and declare a variable
I just
for this.
saw a parrot play chess and defeat a
Maybe have a default value of 4. I'm making this public so I can tweak it in the editor. I will be able to change this value in the editor in case I want to have a different size. And then like when you reset the state of the game, we will actually just want to add back however many segments until you've hit that initial size. So we can say for int I equals 0. Well, actually we'll start at 1 again because we've already added our head.
So here I'm wondering, when the game starts fresh, we call a different function. So I would separate this out into like a build snake function to be able to call at the start and at the end.
And so I is less than our initial size, I++, and we'll go ahead and say segments.add, and we'll instantiate our prefab just like we did up here. All right, let's see if that works correctly. If you look in our script here, you can see the initial size is 4. Nope, that did not work correctly. Oh, and that's because, so it'll work correctly when you lose. So there, I lost, and then our size gets reset. But on the very start of the game, this gets called, but we aren't executing that code. So I'm actually going to change this to just call reset state whenever your game starts. Now, there's this one problem this will cause, and that's because in this function, we are accessing our list here. But our list has not yet been instantiated, and so it'll actually cause a crashing error. And so let's just go ahead and initialize this right away to make sure we don't run it.
I'm going to do that now before I forget.
Into that problem. Let's try testing this one more time. Yep, so there we go. We have an initial size of 4. I can still continue growing. If I lose, it resets. Let's say, for example, I change this to 8. Play again. And there we go. Now we have an initial size of 8. And so that feels a lot better. It feels a little bit more natural. Awesome. So that actually completes a sort of core working game of Snake.
Great. So let me add that code here. Public int starting length. And we're going to set this equal to 8. And then in reset, we just created a for loop. For int I equals 1, while I is less than starting length, I plus plus. And then each time we're going to call grow, right? So I think he just instantiated, but why wouldn't we call grow? Let's take a look here.
Because we've already added our head add. Nope, that didn't correctly work. Instantiate our prefab.
I'm going to try calling grow here because I think that should work, and we'll see. Now if we hit run, hey, yeah, that worked. We're playing Snake. Oh, and then I should make it so that you can't hit the arrow that like goes back into yourself. Let's watch the end of the tutorial and then we'll make some customizations of our own.
This was just a pretty simple implementation of the game Snake, but I hope you learned a thing or two in the process. I would actually challenge you to see how you can continue expanding upon this foundation we've built here. What else can you add? Is there any new features or functionality you can add? Any new game mechanics? One thing we didn't really do at all in this project was any UI stuff. So we didn't really add like a start menu or a game over menu. So maybe that's one way you can continue expanding upon this. All of the project files and source code for this game are available to download for free in GitHub. There's a link in the description of the video. I've gone ahead and cleaned up some of the code and added some additional comments that you can learn from. I appreciate you spending the time with me to learn how to make the game Snake in Unity. If you feel like you've learned something, then go ahead and give this video a thumbs up.
Great. We have Snake. So now I'm going to add the dimmer is bad at Snake command, which means that you can't go the opposite of your direction.
We are going to mod the snack. Let's add a power-up that puts a rocket booster. Speed increases on it, and you get double the points for the booster mode.
We can talk about that after. First, I want to make sure that y'all in Twitch chat can play Snake, because that is the most important part of this project. Great. Okay.
Boo. Most important part is actually giving Snack steroids.
Hello, hello. Welcome, I'm Snows. Okay. So, okay. If direction plus okay, what I'm going to do is, great, we're going to create a new variable here that is a vector2 that is new direction. And we're going to set that in here. These are all going to be setting new direction. And then down here, we're going to have an if. Oh, bye 404. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
If new direction plus direction equals vector2.0. Actually, it does not. If new direction okay, it's not equal to 0, then direction equals new direction. So hopefully, if this math works the way that I think it will, it'll check to make sure that our vectors aren't opposites, so that you can't directly go the opposite of the direction that you're going, because then you just instantly die. And I think having an instant die button isn't... Oh, nope, I am constantly dying. So that is not working. If new direction plus the direction that we're currently going does not equal 0, okay, wait, I'm just gonna try getting rid of this if, and we're gonna see if this like still works, because it should. This shouldn't have actually changed anything. No, something is wrong. Okay. What is causing... Yeah, no, I'm like constantly dying. Let's try this instead. Okay, there we go. We were accidentally stopping moving, and then we, like, crashed down ourselves. Okay, so now that's working. Let's try turning our if statement back on. Hey, it works. So you can't go back on yourself. Oh. Oh, okay. It just spawned in the same spot again, which is slightly awkward, I guess. So if we ignore just like that I'm bad at Snake, everything is working. So now it's just a question of adding the ability for Twitch chat to control the Snake, which is cool and exciting. Ugh. Now, with that in mind, there are existing libraries to access Twitch chat. Oh, WebGL builds are not supported. I really want to build this out to WebGL. So let's take a look at this. Let's watch the video that they made about how to use their program.
There are a
Oh, wait. No, this won't do what I wanted it to do. This requires, so, switching back to my head to talk for a little bit. The goal of this is I don't want these to be traditional Twitch commands, because that would be like exclamation point, whatever, because that is really difficult to constantly type. So what I want is that you can just type like W enter, A enter, S enter, or D enter. So you can use WASD and you just hit enter to submit what movement you want to submit. So you can easily vote on which direction the snake should go. But that library that we were just looking at requires that you use commands with an exclamation point. And it has a bunch of cool things built in for implementing those commands like automatically, but that's not what we're looking to actually implement. So this one doesn't support WebGL, which is what we're looking for. We're looking to build this out to a web project. That way we can integrate it into OBS like we integrated text-to-speech. Why can I not scroll on this webpage? Okay. It's an IRC client to connect to your Twitch chat in a very simple and easy way. Okay, so we have that one, and then let's take a look at this one. Chat spawner and chat move components included. Use personal greetings to welcome viewers. Use your own chatbot with custom commands. Flexible API use. Create polls. Wait, what is this for? This seems a lot more than what we actually need. Okay. So, oh my goodness, I'm not sharing my screen. There are a couple options here. But this one seems much too advanced because it's designed to basically allow you to like host your stream and like add to chat from the game. And this one is only in Spanish. Okay. Oh. Let's just follow this tutorial to be able to write it ourselves without needing an external. Great. That should make life easier. We do only have maybe 10 to 20 more minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to read through this, and then we're probably going to actually implement this. Later today, I'm streaming again 3 to 5 p.m. to finish up this project. One of the game features I've been working on recently, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, oh, I'm Snooze. Thank you for dropping the attendance link again. Let's register a new application. Wait. I do not want to register this through the MLH profile. I want to register this through my Dead Name Dimmer personal profile so that I have more access to it. Great. So let's register an application.
Good job.
Thank you. The name of which we're going to call Chat Plays Snake. And then our OAuth URL. I mean, let's try it. This isn't what I've done before. Category game integration. And now in order... Okay. Session ends at 11 a.m., but you said you were tired yesterday, so I think dropping off early is okay. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Okay. Now let's get our access token. Let's get our IDs here. Hi, client ID. Welcome. Join the club. really don't. Oh, golly. There we go. Okay. Oh, goodness. Okay. There we go. So we have our client information. And then to get an access token, we can use this URL. I really wish there was like a paste without formatting here. Format, make plain text. Make plain text. There we go. That's really what I wanted. I wanted a plain text file. So let's put in our client ID. Great. And let's try this. Authorize. Status 400, missing. Not to worry. What we need is the access token, which is available in the URL. In particular, the page of the 404 error has the URL. Okay. Let's grab this access token. Okay, great. Oh my goodness, I'm Snooze. You don't need to go through all of this. I can do this when I end the stream, but I appreciate it. And apparently I get bonked for that. Thank you. Great, okay. Connecting unique to Twitch. Now that we have all three pieces of information listed in step 2, we can connect unique to Twitch. To do so, we'll be using pass, nick user, and join IRC commands. So, let's take this code, and we're going to put this into our snake code. Twitch chat auth. And this is going to be of type TCP client. Okay. There we go.
One of day 6 challenges is to help others. I usually send helpful links out.
Oh, well, there you go. Thank you for helping others. And I get bonked again. Bonk. Okay. Writer, stream writer. Great. Twitch client. The field initializer cannot reference the non-static field method or property snake.twitch client. The non-static. Okay. Twitch client. Get stream Twitch client. A field initializer cannot reference the non-static. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. This isn't going to change. Okay. So what I want to do here is run these on start. There we go. Hey, okay. Now things are looking better. And now that probably doesn't need to be static, does it? Hey, I've solved some of my problems here. Great. Okay. Access code we have. And then username in this case is snack. 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 And then I'm assuming chat room is the name of the channel, which is MLH. Great. Okay, read stream. Okay. Reading chat messages. After connecting to Twitch, we want to be able to read the chat messages in the chat room. To do so, we can set up a core routine that reads messages in the stream. Why is my mouse freaking out so much? Okay. This core routine loops when a connection state is not disconnected, and when it is connected, it attempts to read the next line of the stream. Line sent by Twitch IRC.
Polar Void is back.
Hey, welcome back. Twitch IRC is delimited by RN, and reader.readline will handle how the lines are processed and process the line. Okay, so let's try implementing these.
What are your thoughts on coroutines and the yield keyword, dimmer?
None. Head empty. This is the first time that I'm being introduced to the concept. So see, now I'm just a little bit confused because we have this variable connection state, but we aren't sending it into read stream. Okay. What I think we've gotten to a point of is a point where my brain is starting to slowly melt. So we're going to save. I'm going to comment this out, and we're going to come back to this later today with my next stream. So for now, we're going to start wrapping this up. Hi, y'all. It's Big Dimmer. My face is big on the screen. I'm Snows earlier sent the link to check into this session and the link to the next section, which is Wikipedia races, as well as the challenges. So you can scroll up and chat to see those. I'm actually just going to drop the attendance link one more time for people. Make sure to check in if you haven't. Ciao. Great. Yeah. So to recap what we did in this stream.
Good job, Dimmer. Can't wait to play Snake.
I'm really excited for it as well. What we did in this stream is we finished up the Snake game. Snake is now working, and we started the process of interfacing with Twitch chat. And I'm a little bit confused because I'm being introduced to some new
I've
concepts.
used Unity for close to a decade and it still makes my head hurt after a while.
Yeah, no, I'm still a very much a Unity novice. So being introduced to some of the more complex concepts of like interacting with external APIs and like running things consistently rather than like the very classic like, oh, on this frame we process these things and then we check for collisions and do that. Like that seems very simple. This part is getting a little bit more complex. So we're going to come back to this at my next stream, which is 3 to 5 p.m. today, Eastern time. And we're going to hopefully finish this off and allow chat to be able to play Snake, which should be super fun. With that, I want to say thank you all so much for coming. Make sure to both check in to the stream and stick around for the next stream, which should be Wikipedia races, which should be super fun. And yeah, come back 3 to 5 p.m. for the hopeful finale of this project. Again, thank you all so much for coming, and happy hacking. Bye, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, thanks. Happy Easter to y'all as well.